Welcome to the Real Comic Heroes Podcast. Your adventure into the world of comic book movies starts here.
Greetings, citizens, and welcome to another adventure of the Real Comic Heroes Podcast. My name's Travis.
And I'm Patrick. We're back for some more characters.
That's right.
And what kind of gems do we have in store on this episode?
Let's
If
see.
you've heard the
We're
previous one of
yeah.
Character Study, then you know what I'm talking about.
Mostly hits though. Last time we
Yeah,
did this, the first one was like
started
crickets,
rough.
you know.
Yeah.
So we're doing another character review, going through the top 100 comic book heroes as compiled by IGN. So looks like our first hero for today is number 62. It's always scary going into the middle of the pack with these. Who do we have? Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Hell of a superhero.
Way back at number 62.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for...
Popularity apparently is fading, I guess.
Yeah. You ready for this one?
All right.
Dashiell, which I think is a name I've heard before. Dashiell, Dashiell. Anyways, Dashiell Bad Horse.
Okay, the only Dashiell I know is Dash from The Incredibles.
Okay.
Bad Horse, you said.
Yeah, Dashiell
So is
Bad
he Native
Horse.
American?
He might be. Actually, probably, because first appearance, Scalped, number 1 from March of 2007.
Okay.
I think I've heard of Scalped. So it says, secrets and a pair of nunchucks are all Officer Dashiell Bad Horse has. The hero of Jason Aaron's Scalped. Dash is a film noir protagonist on the road to redemption by way of the Res. A place, the Res is like R-E-Z, so it must be like a cool take on a reservation, I assume. The Res, a place stained with sin and rusted with vice. Dash pinballs between his FBI handlers and crime lord Red Crow as he infiltrates the latter, while seeing how much he can trust the former. He's this close to fixing himself right until his mother had to get herself killed. Yeah, so...
Yeah, way to go, Mom. Jeez.
Yeah.
Just had to get yourself killed.
It says, meth and sex and cold-blooded murder get in the way, sure, but Dash keeps his big damn secret and shows us how dark you can go with the anti-hero to still make us root for him, even if it means more dead bodies to cover up along the way. So, yeah, sounds like he's a Native American, cop, anti-hero, Punisher type maybe. Yeah, I've like I said, I've heard of Scalped, but I have no familiarity with the book itself or this character.
Kind of meth problem on top of that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess I appreciate that they're breaking stereotypes and he's got nunchucks instead of tomahawks.
Yeah. It's cool that, there's a comic that deals with, the Native American life.
And... Yeah. I mean, I wonder if, I know, alcohol could be an issue in some of those communities, and I guess meth could, too, if it's
I imagine, yeah.
Just anywhere that... It seems like meth is associated with rural areas a lot. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
No, I think anywhere... I mean, meth has become a problem, I think, for every, like you said, rural community, and I'm not surprised. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that
cool
also
just
is affected.
To see that instead of some gritty city, it's a gritty reservation.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Longmire?
No, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, it was a decent show. I think it took place in Montana, and some of the episodes dealt with their neighboring reservation, Native Americans. Like especially there was one that the crime happened on the reservation, so it was kind of like a jurisdiction kind of thing, like problem with whether he could investigate on their land and that sort of thing, and yeah, I mean it's they kind of show you. I mean it's TV show, so they might be amplifying it, but it's not just it's like real life there. They have problems and they're hit with the same kinds of problems that we are, and especially drugs and alcohol and that kind of thing too. So
yeah, it's weird. Like it's a good premise to take on because native lands are almost like countries unto themselves with the rules and like agreements that are in place because we kind of took their stuff. So it's kind of an awkward situation, but makes for good stories, I would assume.
Yeah.
It's odd we don't have more of that.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it's a good thing to talk about, even if it is not the greatest. But it's kind of interesting to like take a look at those. I don't know if politics is the right word, but the sort of one land, two different worlds kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, not to the same degree because they haven't been persecuted like Native Americans, but it's kind of like that with the Amish, communities that like they are in their own, communities inside, surrounded by the rest of America. I mean, I don't think they have their own law and own
you've
things
never
like that.
watched,
And I don't
Amish Mafia then.
No, definitely
they have
not.
their own law.
Yeah.
So he's got a big secret.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like a superpower secret or mutation secret, or if it's just he knows like something about somebody.
Yeah, I doubt that there's any superpowers in this story. It's probably just very like it says, it's a very noir kind of story, so it's probably just very like detective oriented, and I mean obviously
nunchucks is an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting weapon. I don't. It doesn't get the same like. I don't know. It's just an odd choice.
For sure.
It's a very personal weapon. Like you got to get in close, and it can be deadly, but mostly not. A lot of blunt force trauma, I guess. But
it's a good something you can kind of keep in keep concealed, and then you just whip it out at a bar and just smack somebody across the head. I think it's a good.
That's interesting.
It's the more sophisticated beer bottle across the head.
Yeah.
Kind of approach, I think. So not enough nunchucks in.
It'll definitely make you go, "What the hell?" and then you're hit upside the head.
I think I just got hit with nunchucks.
Because you're like, "Oh, that's awesome! Wait, ow!" Okay, so Dashiell Badhorse.
Dashiell Badhorse.
That's an interesting name.
Yeah.
So okay.
Of course, Badhorse makes me think of Dr. Horrible, but
who's Dr. Horrible?
Dr. Horrible. I made you watch that movie once. It's Neil Patrick Harris, kind of musical about a supervillain. Yeah, the main like crime boss in that is Badhorse, and he's literally a horse.
Yes. So. How could I forget?
I don't know. I love Dr. Horrible.
I totally forgot that. Oh.
Let's move on. Number 74.
Oof. All right.
Who knows what we're getting with this one, yeah. 74 is Black Widow.
Oh, okay.
Another...
I do know her.
Yeah, another... has a big resurgence because of the Iron Man 2. She was featured in that, and then, of course, incorporated into the Avengers and became, a big part of the Marvel Universe and Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it was just so unfortunate that they never got around to making her own solo movie before they killed the character.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a weird. I don't. It's bizarre that they handled it that way
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
because it's like you're watching a Marvel movie that's you're trained to know that it's tied into something coming, and
Yeah.
we already know she's dead. So
Yeah, we're gonna make a movie that's set. It's like I think the upcoming Black Widow movie is set. What did we discover? Like
is
it's
it
set
after
right
Civil
after
War?
Civil
Or...
War. Yeah,
Yeah,
so she's kind of maybe a fugitive,
yeah,
because she did help Captain America and some of those guys like escape.
yeah.
She let them go or whatever. But so yeah, it's like they'll have to start and end this movie, seemingly like in the middle of a couple movies. So, and
I
that's
mean, I
just
still want to see
that's.
it.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, we talked about the trailer. I mean, it
Yeah,
looks like a good Jason Bourne spy action thriller.
that was just what I was going to compare her to.
Yeah,
She's I mean, she's got a horrible backstory, but
yeah. It's a little. I've been
bit
reading.
rough.
She's been popping up in these old Iron Man issues that I've been reading. And her first appearance is Tales of Suspense number 52, all the way back in April of 1964. And when she first shows up, she's just a. I mean, she kind of is a spy. She's more of like a femme fatale working for, the communist, working for the Red Army or the Russians or whatever.
Yeah, she's
And
like a competent Bond girl.
yeah, yeah, and
Like,
she's sent to like seduce and kill
mhm.
Tony Stark, and then of course she falls in love with him, and it's kind of a back and forth of is she good or is she bad? She's kind of like Catwoman to
Yeah,
Batman
I
in
was
those
just
early,
yeah,
and then Hawkeye appears, and they have a couple issues together, teaming up, and then they fall in love, and then eventually after Hawkeye becomes a good guy. Um, they run into each other again, and then she's been brainwashed to kill Avengers, and Hawkeye convinces her to go against her programming and be, at least not kill him. Not necessarily, at least from where I've read so far, she's not fully become a good guy, but at least is loves Hawkeye enough not to kill him. So that's kind of where she starts out, and then at some point she's going to become this super badass spy. I mean, she doesn't even look like what you think of when you think of Black Widow. I mean, she runs around in like I think at certain times it's like blue and green kind of outfit, and her hair's black, and just does not look like the red hair
yeah.
running around in a cat suit kind of character that she'll become. So. But yeah, I mean, she's a cool character. I'm glad that they added her to the Avengers. At least in the movie. I mean, I know she's been a part of the Avengers in comics for, for years and years. But
Yeah, I always feel bad for her and for Hawkeye because they're just
the
talented
normal,
humans,
the normal people.
and they're
But
in way over their head in most of
yeah,
these
yeah,
battles.
yeah.
Her more so than Hawkeye because at least he can shoot stuff.
Well, I
I
mean, she's
mean,
always got her guns and her like wrist stinger things that she.
yeah, but he's got cool arrows.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like
But
her
I get
gadgets
the
are like, eh.
Yeah, they always at least, I think, give the impression that she is just as capable as him. Like if she
Mhm.
had a bow and arrow, she could do the exact same stuff he could. Like she's just as
I
good
just
of
wish,
a
yeah, I wish she just
marksman.
had something cool, like other
Yeah,
than a
yeah,
gun and some wrist
yeah. They've
darts.
kind of been giving her like those sticks that she fights with in
Oh yeah,
Endgame and
yeah.
or Infinity War. I mean,
Because I feel
um,
like her and then the what is it? The Pink Panther,
Pink Panther.
Black Panther. I was just watching Pink Panther a few days ago.
Nice.
Black Panther's warrior women.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I kind of put they would have been cool together. Like
Yeah. Well, they
if
kind
they
of she
spent more
fought.
time together.
Yeah, 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 yeah. She has a good scene with her
Yeah.
Okoye fighting side by side.
I couldn't remember if they had like a name to that group of warriors.
The Dora Milaje.
Oh yeah, I would never have pulled that. Okay.
I was trying to think of it a second ago when you mentioned it, and then it just came to me. So,
but yeah, I
see,
enjoyed the character. It's nice to have. Although I kind of don't like the whole like she's in love with Hulk thing.
Yeah, that whole thing was handled.
Thing.
Yeah, I agree.
The only thing good that came out of it is for Thor Ragnarok when he tries to do the thing she does with calming the Hulk down.
Oh,
it's the only good that came of that thing.
So good, yeah. I actually like in Age of Ultron. I like the Natasha and Bruce Banner like flirtatious relationship thing. But yeah, towards the end of that movie, it kind of gets a little weird with like her and Hulk, and there's I think one of the worst lines in that movie and in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is Iron Man says, hey, quit playing hide the zucchini and get in the fight or something like that. I mean, just flat out. It's such a weird line shoehorned in there.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, it's real bad.
I think Age of Ultron is probably my least favorite.
I actually like that movie a lot. I think it's one of those that when it first came out, it did not live up to the expectations that Avengers had set. But I think time has been very good to that movie. Like now that you can watch it. Yeah, because you can watch it and there's no expectations. There's no like the hype has died down, and if you just watch it as the adventure that it is, I think it's really good. Like especially the stuff with the origin of the Vision, creating him, which I think is a brilliant thing that they did with incorporating Jarvis into creating him. It's just I think that movie's really solid. So.
I think I hold a grudge against it because of the opening shot.
Oh, really?
That stupid one shot CG shit show. It drives me nuts. Like, okay. I'm just like, oh, it just looks so fake because it is.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'll get used to it, but I just hate it every time they do that with these sweeping, turning fake shots. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It just bugs me for some reason. And
that's fair.
That's how they start this movie off. So
yeah, that's fair.
They do it sometimes. Like I know they did it in the first Avengers where they like kind of are all huddled together and the camera just swirls around them.
Oh yeah, I love that shot.
Just, I don't know. That I'm okay with. It's not as bad. But when they threw it into the beginning of Age of Ultron. Had all that action flying around. I'm just like, I don't know. It felt like a weird credit sequence.
Okay.
Like, here's Hawkman or Hawkeye. Here's Hulk, and he's doing this, and they're doing this, and it's all one shot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just weirds me out.
That stuff works for me because it's like a splash page on the screen. Just
sure.
It works for me, but I get why it can be a little eye rolling. And they kind of got away from doing some of that stuff.
Yeah.
The slow mo hero shot sort of sequence.
Yeah. But it's right there with the whole land on one knee.
Yeah.
Like as far as tropes go with superhero movies.
The superhero landing pose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we kind of have gotten away from it, but I know we like to sort of recast.
Yeah.
I know I've been trying to think this whole time of who else could do Black Widow. And I know what's her face from Hunger Games.
Oh, okay, Jennifer Lawrence.
She did a Black Widow-esque movie, that Red Sparrow or whatever.
Yeah.
And
to me, I think her and Scarlett Johansson are kind of in the same category. Like, they wouldn't be my first choice. And I think Scarlett Johansson has done a pretty decent job of the character. I think early on she was a little like Iron Man 2, and when she popped up next in I guess Avengers would have been her next appearance, I think. Like some of those early movies, she's just kind of like now. I think get someone like I've been a real big fan of that Saoirse Ronan. She was in that Lady Bird, and she did Hannah, which was a story about like a girl who was trained to be a killer.
Yeah,
you know,
that was good.
Yeah. So I'd like to see her. I'd like to see her as Batgirl, honestly. But I could see her being like a Black Widow. Or we've been watching Killing Eve on I think Hulu, and there's a actress in there. She plays an assassin, or not an assassin, but like a hitman. I guess kind of same thing. But her name Jodie Comer, and she'd be a good Black Widow, I think. Kind of plays it like a Russian, has the accent and all that stuff. So, but can also like dip into a British. She is British, but she plays it as a Russian who can do an English accent and an American accent and speak 100 languages or whatever. So,
yeah, I was thinking, and it's basically because I just watched it. Lucy Liu from Kill Bill.
Okay.
I think that character she plays could easily, like, she could pull off a Black Widow.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like,
her back in her
same
prime.
kind of intensity, and I feel like she could manipulate. However, that character would have to obviously change because I don't think she'd ever go the femme fatale route. I think she's a little too aggro.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I could see something like that because I really like in Shield. There's that one lady I'm blanking on her name now.
May,
yeah.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
But she's more of like a veteran version, I guess.
Yeah.
Like she's almost like a I don't know, like a precursor to Black Widow.
Sure.
Kind of. But yeah, there's it'd be good. Linda Hamilton.
Oh shit. Yeah, I mean, I think if you're go back and make an Avengers movie in the I don't know 80s, early 90s, yeah, I could see Linda Hamilton, Black Widow.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm a little surprised she's down at number 74.
Yeah, I mean, she is a side character for the most part. I don't really think of her as her own standalone.
Well, neither did Marvel, so.
Yeah. Because is she known for a standalone comic?
Not. She's never had like a long-standing, ongoing series of her own. I think she's gotten several series that have like Black Widow series that have started, but I don't think any of them have run for years and years. Yeah. She's always kind of a character in other books. Story. Yeah, she's always kind of a side character, or like I said, just short-lived little mini series kind of things.
Gotcha. Okay. So I can see that then.
Yeah.
If she doesn't have that pedigree of her own book that's lasted long, so not totally surprising. All right.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Go to number 98. So who's
what gem awaits us there? Is it Barty Allen, Barry Allen's second brother, twice removed?
No, not far off, I guess. But as far as number 98 is Nova, and Nova is a character that it's a Marvel character. And it's, if you've watched Guardians of the Galaxy, and when the kind of the final battle, when all the Xandarians show up in their little rocket ships, and they form that like shield, like those are all Nova Corps.
Yeah. Glenn Close is Nova Prime.
Yes. Yeah. So, but this Nova, I think, is a specific Nova. Like Richard Rider is like the first Marvel Nova character that they've introduced, and then like you find out that there's a Nova Corps and like other Nova. It's kind of like the Green Lantern Corps. Actually says, blend Green Lantern with Spider-Man and you have Nova, the human rocket. Like Green Lantern, Nova is a cop who patrols the chaotic depths of space. Like Peter Parker, Richard Rider is a humble working-class kid who found himself drawn into a larger world. Fans saw Nova mature and grow in his time with the New Warriors, and when the Annihilation Wave struck, Nova embraced his destiny as premier defender of a battered galaxy. So, I've never really read much with Nova, not this Nova. I've read some old Spider-Man comics with the Richard Rider character, and the New Warriors were kind of like a Teen Titans sort of team of younger heroes.
Okay.
And I'm more familiar with a new version of Nova, which was a kid named Sam Alexander who was like maybe 15 years old, like maybe, and he gets the Nova helmet, like gets passed to him, and he, it basically gives him the powers of Nova, and he can fly around and be a hero. And but I think Richard Rider had long since been killed in the Annihilation Wave or whatever that storyline is. I think that's a big Thanos storyline in the maybe early 2000s. So,
I don't know. Is he like blue and yellow?
Yes, yeah, blue and yellow, has a
like
yellow
discs. Like on his suit, like
he's got some circle designs on his suit.
Okay. I think I remember
but not
the
like
cartoon you're talking about.
Okay.
Where he's a kid.
Yeah. He's been in one of the more recent Spider-Man cartoons as like they had a kind of a young team of heroes, and
that's
it was Nova and a few other characters.
And he's got some powers that are associated, like obviously he can fly, and is there some kind of like energy thing he shoots
energy
off or
blasts,
something?
I think. Flight and like super speed, basically, while he's flying,
Because the Nova Corps doesn't really have powers; they just have fancy ships. So,
I think if they had done like a Nova Corps movie, I think you'd find out that there are just your general Nova, cops that are all in those ships that help the Guardians, and then I think there are Nova like more of the elite, would get the helmet and the suit and the powers and that sort of thing. I think is kind of how I would compare the Nova. What I know is like I'd compare them to like Captain Marvel, how she's kind of part of a big team, and they all kind of have powers, but she's like an elite, among them. So
gotcha.
I don't know a ton about Nova, but
I guess
it's a cool design. The yellow helmet with like the red kind of star shape in the center. It's a cool look.
He just gets lost in like his generic power.
Yeah.
And vagueness of Space Defender.
Yeah. I think the Nova Corps as a team of heroes, or never took off for Marvel like the Green Lantern Corps did for DC.
Yeah. Let's do one more and hope we get a lower number.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think we've done 37 yet. Nope, number 37. We're getting to enough of them that I'm starting to get repeats. So,
nice.
Having to
roll that dice again.
Yeah. Okay. Number 37, The Crow.
Oh, all right. Interesting.
Yeah.
I literally only know it from the movie.
Sure.
The first movie. I haven't seen the subsequent ones, but
yeah, I love that movie, The Crow. But I've never read any Crow comics. It's got a pretty dark history as far as, the actual like creation of the comic itself. It's like James O'Barr is the creator, and he was driving somewhere with his girlfriend, or fiance maybe, and I forget how it happens. I think they were either stranded on the side of the road, and there was either like she got killed in an accident, or I can't remember if it was like she was like murdered, like the way the comic version of The Crow loses his lover in a horrifying murder, or I think
Yeah.
like I know that James O'Barr used his loss as a way to like he channeled that into the Crow, so I can't remember fully like what is real life and what was like, you know. So, but yeah, the Crow first appearance, Caliber Presents #1 from 1989. It's, you know, he's a lost, it says he's a lost soul returned from the dead to avenge the death of his lover. You know, so the Crow like brings his spirit back because he has like an unfinished wrong to right, essentially. And at least in the movie, you know, that's kind of once he takes down the criminals, you know, who are responsible for his and his fiance's death, like then he can kind of go back to be at peace, basically. So it's I know they've it's a weird premise to then build a franchise on. And the subsequent Crow movies aren't about the same person. It's like it's another person who is trying to right wrongs. So it's
the power lies with the Crow.
Not
just they choose who to bring back.
Right.
I like the premise. It's cool. I mean, essentially, I always thought of the Crow as I guess a zombie Batman.
Kinda, yeah.
Because you can shoot him and nothing happens. You can like disappear and hide and come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So he's got Batman type stealth with zombies' durability or lack of caring about bullets, I guess.
And it's like at least as presented in that movie, you know, he gets shot several times throughout the movie, and it, you know, he basically heals, but like over time it kind of takes a toll on him. I think like the more of his powers he uses, the slightly weaker he gets. So he does kind of have to that's why like at the end of the movie he's all bandaged up and
I haven't seen the movie in forever.
Yeah, it's
I
coming
thought the
up.
weakness was the Crow. Like if you got the Crow, then he was dead.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the.
It's definitely one
effect.
that's the movie came out in '94, so it'll be coming up for us pretty soon. That'll be fun to talk about. I think not necessarily fun, but I look forward to talking about that one.
I remember hating a couple of the bad guys because they're pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
think
always fun watching horrible people get stalked and killed.
Yeah. I think in
messed up as that sounds.
The movie version, it's more gothic as far as the bad guys. I think in the book it's like a biker gang that he takes down, so it's different sort of villain. But
this is a very dystopian future. It's almost like is it supposed to be Detroit?
It is, yeah. Set in Detroit,
like the night of fire or something.
Devil's Night. It's like the night before Halloween, and this gang basically sets a bunch of fires every year, and you know.
I remember thinking it reminded me Detroit Takes a Hit, but it made me think of RoboCop.
Sure.
Where it's like a really screwed up Detroit.
Yeah.
Or even Gotham, like. It gave me that kind of gritty, urban downfall kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
poor Detroit. But yeah, the Crow. I mean, it's a cool character. It's just.
It is. Yeah.
I don't know much outside of the movie, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I've seen the City of Angels, like the sequel, and I've seen The Crow Salvation, which is the third one. I kind of like that one. It's actually got Kirsten Dunst in it as well. Kind of that it must have come out in like 2001 maybe. So like she hadn't been in Spider-Man yet, you know, as Mary Jane. So it's like kind of prior to that. But the guy that they have as the Crow is kind of just a generic guy, but he's convicted of killing his girlfriend and sentenced to death on you know, as a prisoner or whatever, death row, and then comes back to kind of go after the cops that actually killed his girlfriend, you know. So I kind of like that one. I never really loved the second one, the City of Angels. Like it always felt like, you know how Batman, like you have the '89 Batman, and then Batman Returns, it becomes super creepy and weird and gothic.
Mm-hmm.
Like more so than the first one. It's kind of like that, but it's just more like witchcraft and just as a kid, like that movie just unsettled me, and and then there's a fourth Crow movie with Edward Furlong as the Crow, and it's got David Boreanaz and Tara Reid.
Oh wow!
I've never watched it. It was always one that was like on my list of movies to watch, but I just never got around to it. So,
yikes!
Yeah.
Yeah, the Crow always made me think very emo.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Brandon Lee. I mean, obviously, tragic ending for that, but
yeah.
I
mean, there's a reason.
It was surprising he was the Crow. Like he played it really well, and seeing him normally in his other, like outside of this movie, it seemed like a big stretch, and he pulled it off amazingly.
Sure. Yeah. There was even a Crow TV series that I think it was called Stairway to Heaven, and I think it lasted like one season, and that one was weird because if I'm not mistaken, it was the same character. It was Eric Draven, and so you kind of had to
that's weird.
Understand like what if he didn't go back to being dead like at the end of the movie. So I think everything in the movie happened, and then he stayed alive and kind of tried to be a citizen, and but his Crow activities, at one point I watched an episode where he was like in court, basically, on trial for murder.
Weird.
And it was kind of like he can't really prove why he killed these people because, he would give himself up as being like the supernatural character or whatever. But yeah. I think there's a reason it didn't last very long. But but they got the Mark Dacascos, who's like a 90s action star, and like the guy from Iron Chef. Nowadays, anyways, like he was playing Eric Draven.
I forgot about the Iron Chef.
Yeah. So, I don't have too much more for the Crow. I mean, I definitely, like I said, look forward to getting to this one fairly soon.
Yeah,
because it's a '94 movie, and
it's coming up fast.
Yeah. So yeah, you got anything else?
No. Yeah,
we hit 4 this issue. Or this episode, so
this issue.
Yeah.
No,
let's leave it there.
Covered. We hit the later rounds of heroes, and I knew most
some nice,
of them,
nice. I guess not like obvious. That first one, the Dashiell Bad Horse, is something. It was nice to learn about a little bit about the fact that there is like a comic based on some Native American like reservation life and that sort of stuff, and the Crow is kind of nice out there kind of character too. Is not just
a bit of variety.
Yeah. So all right, I think that'll do it for this one. We do have a Facebook group you can go and join, the Real Comic Heroes League of Citizens, and it'd be nice to hear if anyone has any familiarity with the other characters we talked about. Please let us know.
Yep. Use your nerd knowledge for good and teach.
All right, that's going to do it, I think. So we will be back next week, or in 2 weeks probably, with another movie. Not sure what that is because
Alien 3.
It's several weeks from now when we're recording this. So
it's a future problem.
Yeah, that's for those guys to worry about.
Yeah.
But that'll do it for this one. And stay safe out there, citizens.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. Find the show on Facebook and Twitter at Real Comic Heroes. All music and audio are the property of their respective creators.